Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Kafasythotius Raga Belant with the student number of 2310731005. I will now explain about analyzing and understanding English as lingua franca in China. First is the content of the PowerPoint presentation. We have introduction, the second is lingua franca, fact about China, historical region of lingua franca in China, internal political region, external economic region, practical region, intellectual region, entertainment region, and the possible conflict of English as lingua franca, as well as the conclusion of the PowerPoint presentation. Well, introduction. Introduction in a more interlinked world, English has become the adopted lingua franca for speakers of many native languages. It serves varying purposes in China: commerce, education, and international communication. This paper thus pays heed to the roles English plays as a lingua franca in China, discussing its historical roots, present status, and implication for the communication and cultural interchange. Now, what is lingua franca? A lingua franca is a language that is used as a common means of communication between speakers of different native language. It enables such interaction in contexts such as trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange. Historically, the term referred to a pidgin language formed in the Mediterranean during the Middle Ages. Now, this term has come to refer to any language that serves that function. English is the global lingua franca and is used in almost all parts of the world, including China. Some facts about China. First is the diverse population. With a population of 1.4 billion plus inhabitants, China's the largest population in the world. Due to this, the various language and dialect develop as in the case of China where Mandarin is the official language. Second is the education system. English is regarded as a second language in China, and learning institution in China makes it compulsory to learn English for their students. Geographical location. China is located in East Asia, bordered by 14 countries, including Russia to the north and Vietnam to the south. The cultural exchange. There were intended relations between China and the English-speaking world. With the increase of globalization and the exchange of culture leads to English to become a second language in China. The lastly is the economic growth. Globalization has also altered the social life of the Chinese, as it has led China to become the world's industrial powerhouse as one of the largest economies. There has been an increasing need of making foreign relations, and this includes trades. The next is the historical reason. The first is the economic reform. Subsequent to the onset of the economic reform in China in the late 20th century, the country became active in the global market, making English knowledge a necessity to the workforce. The second is the cultural aspiration. With the globalization, English has become associated with modernity, education, and upward mobility, prompting many Chinese citizens to learn the language. Technological advancement. The rise of the internet and social media has facilitated the spread of English and created platforms for Chinese speakers to engage in English-speaking communities. The next is the practical reason. The practical purpose for the growth of English as lingua franca in China has their origins. Today's globalization and economical factor. Based on the graph on the side of the text, 5% of the population knows English fluently. 50% are only intermediate level in English. Another 15 are other language and the rest are Mandarin. English is the medium that group of people with different language use to minimize language barrier when negotiating, working together, or partnering. A large number of universities and colleges in China has introduced English medium instruction to cater the international student and to make the Chinese student more competitive internationally. This has boosted the sector of English language tutoring in the school and also private tutors. Internal political region. English is the key language not only in China internal communication but also for unity among regions and ethnic groups in China. English is the major language in China. It's a huge country with many languages and especially among the different regions of China. It is used as the mother language between the group of people where people with diversified dialect and language use it as a common medium. The propagation of English reflects the endeavor of rearing a generation culturally cognizant but also at the same time economically competitive. The youth with English fluency will be in a much better readiness to comprehend such so much convoluted world with its current base face. The external economic region. English today is a very important source related to China's economic growth and development due to the significant expansion of the country in the global market. English has become a key factor when it comes to trade links and relations, and the necessary requirement of diplomacy with business consideration. English is the most spoken language in the majority of the countries. Thus, the Chinese businessmen, the Chinese business people, and diplomats should be competent in using English. This outward economic approach associated associated the English as communication intermediary between China and other parts of the world. Intellectual region. From intellectual point of view, the adoption of English as the agenda language in China is a manifestation of other issues to do with internationalization of knowledge transfer and interculturalization. As nations get interconnected or globalization catch up with the world, English has taken a central position of being the language of scientific research. Learning English enables to Chinese students and professionals exposed to information that might not be obtainable by learning in Chinese. Using English also make people from different cultures have a better understanding. This especially so as more people carry out different activities with the member of English-speaking communities. The Chinese get to learn about other people's culture, philosophies, and worldview. Entertainment regions. English is believed to be an important component of entertainment culture. YouTube contains so much music and series. There are much English words or even phrases in movies. Such exposure makes people touch with global society and popular culture. The content consumed more frequently by the young audience leads them to Western countries or cultures they prefer, while it brings very important and useful information. It is also true that concentration of all kinds of entertainment in English can leave a gap for those that do not understand English, separating people who can share some cultural experience. The next is the possible conflict of English as lingua franca. Although, although English plays a role of the connection language in China, its appearance can cause conflict. Using English is seen by many people as a negative process since it dominates local language and even dialects, thus distorting cultural memory. As people experience the English language being used as the main language in business and education, people may find their native language being inferior. Such situation might make this learner to feel left out, particularly those with inadequate English language skills. One of the issues that China has to solve is an opposition of the advantage of using English as a global language and a desire to preserve the culture. Lastly is the conclusion. English has become an indispensable factor in the Chinese society, taking central roles in various areas such as trade, learning, and communication. The development is due to the important aspects like globalization, liberalization of the economy, favorable change in the technology, and improved communication internally. As the Chinese society moves closer to becoming a globalized society, the role of English has to be accepted in the Chinese society, while respecting the many other languages also present in the country. It will make possible the development of economic as well as cultural capital, and make it possible for anyone's voice to be discerned in a network world. That is all from my presentation, my PowerPoint presentation. I'm very sorry if there's too many stuttering. Thank you very much for listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.